President Johnson has some words of congratulations for congressional leaders who spurred the tax bill through both houses as he prepares to sign it into law. Less than 6 hours after final passage, the presidential signature makes the $11.5 billion tax cut a reality, the biggest such reduction in history. He uses 64 pens to affix his signature, and 3 of those pens are for Mrs. Kennedy and her 2 children in memory of President Kennedy's work for the bill, which is designed to bolster the economy.
There is no asset more precious to freedom. There is no guarantee more vital to liberty than a robust American economy. No one can bury us, or bluff us, or beat us, so long as our economy remains strong. No economic system anywhere has ever had the success of the American economy by placing maximum reliance on the initiative and the creative energies of individual businessmen and workers. We have created here in our land the most prosperous nation in the history of the world.
The velvet cloak of night shrouds the London airport. All is quiet, all is serene. But this is the lull before the storm. Thousands of Beatles fans are bedded down for the night to await the arrival of their heroes. When the dawn comes up like a teenage scream, the arrival of the froggy-voiced foursome is imminent. The cries of the crowd grow in pitch and volume, drowning out the whine of the jet engines. And here they are, fresh from their triumphant appearances in the United States. 12,000 young Britons roar a welcome. Their shrieks rise in an awesome wave. Our staff scientist, in an odd moment, calculated that this young mob is generating enough energy to put 3 Atlas missiles in orbit and power 54,000 transistor radios. Some of the fences hold, others do not. A minor miracle is mounted by the fact that there are no injuries spread among the near hysterical crowd. This truly is a social document for our time. "40 young ladies fainted, but authorities feel that some were playing possum, so that they might be lifted over the fence and thus be nearer their idols. The Beatles, who originated as a small-time act out of Liverpool, now have no rivals as the kingpins of the teenage set. You can repeat that loud and long. Some brave volunteers among the British police elect to act with heroism above and beyond the call of duty and escort the Beatles to their car. There hasn't been this much excitement at the London airport since man learned to fly. So there you have the homecoming of the Beatles, the return of the heroes to their native land. They did what the Redcoats couldn't do in the American Revolution. They conquered the colonies. With victory in World War II, the Allies turned to fixing the guilt of those responsible. In 1945, Marshal Henri Pétain went on trial in France, accused of selling out his country to the Nazis and collaborating with them after France surrendered. High government officials testified at his treason trial, and the courtroom was thrown into an uproar by the accusations of former Premier Paul Reynaud. The marshal was found guilty, condemned to death, but then sent into exile where he died. Quisling became synonymous with traitor in World War II, and the Norwegian who gave his infamous name to the language was tried for betraying his country. Vidkun Quisling was sentenced to death by his countrymen and went to the gallows. Halfway around the world, in Tokyo, another group was tried. Japan's Pearl Harbor Premier Hideki Tojo led a list of 25 defendants accused of war crimes and atrocities. After a 2-year trial, he was hanged for his acts. In Germany, Heinrich Himmler avoids trial by suicide. The evil genius of Nazi horror camps, he headed Hitler's secret police and was the most hated man in Europe. The most famous trials were those held in Nuremberg, when 21 high Nazis faced their accusers. Hitler was dead, but these were his chief lieutenants, Hess and Ribbentrop among them. It was an international tribunal that sat in judgment and heard the massive evidence that was collected. The prisoners remained defiant throughout the trial, seemingly confident that they would be freed. They all were quick to plead, not guilty.
Ich kenne mich im Sinne der Anklage für nicht schuldig.
Nicht schuldig. Nein.
The Nuremberg trials went on for 15 months, and bit by bit, these exponents of mass murder moved closer and closer to the hangman's noose. 21 were found guilty and 10 were executed, but the misery and horror they spawned lived after them.